Before I get started on this video of the Atocha train station and how to get to the airport, just want to point out that this is Calle Atocha right here, this street, and going up that street will take you to the area of Plaza Mayor. And this street here that intersects with it is Paseo Prado, and if you go left up that street, you'll hit the Prado Museum, and as well you will also hit the station for the night bus to the airport, which I'll talk about later. So those are where the streets intersect, and right in front here is the metro line number 1, and that's the Estación del Arte. Okay, and across the street, that black arch there is the Atocha train station, which is the main train station in Madrid. Now, there are two ways to get to and from the airport cheaply. One is taking the train from Atocha to the metro station and then taking that to the airport. The other is the bus, which in my opinion is much simpler. The prices are similar. The bus is €5. So let me show you this map just to give you an idea of where the bus stop is in relation to the Atocha train station and this Dunkin' Donuts street here. That's across the street from the entrance to Atocha. So you can see that it's kind of behind Atocha, the bus station for the airport, and you don't actually have to go into the Atocha train station to get to the bus station. It's actually behind Atocha, kind of. And so you see that the Atocha train station is a little bit below street level. So if you just walk around to the left side of the Atocha train station and go to the back of it by the clock tower, that's where the airport bus leaves from. The Atocha train station is really central to everything in Madrid, and so if you are visiting Madrid, you are going to want to know where it is, because you are probably going to be coming through there or at least in the area of it, and so it's a very good landmark. And to give you an idea of how close it is to all of the pretty major destinations that you're probably going to want to visit, here is a map showing some popular locations and their distances from the Atocha train station. So the Prado Museum is just 0.48 miles up the street. The Gran Via, which is like the Spanish Broadway with all the shopping and all of that, is 1.2 miles walking from Atocha. Plaza Mayor is 1.14 miles, and the Royal Palace is 1.5 miles walking from the Atocha train station. So you see, it really is close to everything around. So let's go have a look inside the Atocha train station. I'm sure you'll be pretty amazed if you've never seen it before, as I was the first time I seen it a few years ago. And just to give you some information about the trains here, there are all kinds of trains. You have the commuter trains, which are called the Cercanias, and then you have regional trains within the cities, inner city trains like Navarre, Cadiz, Huelva, La Rioja, and then you have the high-speed Renfe trains, and those go to cities like Girona, Tarragona, Barcelona, Huesca, Zaragoza, Sevilla, Cordoba, Malaga, Valencia, Castellón, and Alicante. And there is even, as of 2019, daily service to Marseille, France from here. So not only is this terminal here huge when you walk in it, doesn't look that big from the street, I guess, but this is something like 43,000 square feet. But you also have this huge tropical garden here, which is pretty amazing to see this kind of thing in the middle of a train station. And what's even crazier, a few years back I was here and there was a pond in here, and it was filled with actual turtles. And the crazy thing is, the turtles weren't put there by the people who run this place. They were just abandoned there over the years, starting from something like 1992, where I guess people had some kind of exotic pets and they got too big or something, or they just didn't want them and they dropped them here in the pond. And I guess they thrived along with some other kinds of fish and things like that, to the point where there was a lot of them, something like 300 turtles and other kinds of exotic fish that were unwanted, I guess. I don't know where these people got these fish and turtles from that they just happened to dump here on their way through the terminal, but I have some video of what it looked like back when the turtles were here, so let's take a look at that. So this is what it looked like with the turtles here. This was, I believe, 2 years ago, and you see there's a lot of turtles, and you probably can't see the fish in the water, but some invasive fish species, and there's more turtles on the other side of the pond there. And the turtles have been moved to some kind of sanctuary place in outside of Madrid or something like that. There's a sign up there telling you where they are with a website that you can, I guess, donate to them or something along those lines. So back to the airport buses, and this information I tell you now is going to be in the description below, so you can refer to it if you can't remember it all. Line 203, or the Express Aeropuerto bus, is €5, and you can pay that in cash. You don't have to buy a ticket in advance. And that bus runs 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Now the 203 bus runs from 6 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. every 15 to 20 minutes, and it takes about 30 minutes to get to the airport. From 11:30 at night to 6 a.m., they have something called the night bus, and that's the N27. And that runs every 35 minutes, and again, the ride takes about 30 minutes. Now the difference is that the night bus doesn't go through Atocha Train Station, okay? It goes up the street to Paseo Prado that I showed you in the beginning of the video. So here's a map of where the bus leaves, the night bus leaves to go to the airport, and across the street of where it would drop you off if you were coming from the airport at night on the N27 night bus. The name of the night bus station is Madrid Barajas, and it's around the big fountain in front of Madrid City Hall. The big fountain of a guy in a chariot being pulled by lions. So it's a big fountain there, and it's a really big intersection. And so if you're not sure where to get the bus, it could be a walk across that thing to find out that you're at the wrong bus station. And if you're pulling luggage, or it's at night and you miss the bus and the next one's 35 minutes. So all of these little things, they don't really explain very well in the timetables or the descriptions that they give on the airport website. So that's why I want to give a detailed description of exactly where you'd be taking the bus from or getting off if you were coming from the airport. Another thing is that these buses only go to terminals 1, 2, and 4. It does not go to terminal 3. However, there is a inter-terminal bus system at the airport, so you can go from one terminal to another with a free bus that circles all the terminals, so that's not really a problem. Now, the other way to get to the airport by using a train is by using the Cercanias trains, the commuter trains, and you can take that, I believe it's the C4 that runs to Nuevos Ministerios station, and that is where you can pick up the metro line number 8, and that goes to all the terminals in the Madrid airport. If you are in other places in the city, you can also take the metro to Nuevos Ministerios station and switch to the Metro Line 8 and get it to the airport. But there's multiple trains that will eventually get you there. You just have to look on the map. I believe the 6th line also connects with that. The 1 line that you see outside the Atocha station, you would have to take that up and connect to the 6th line and take that over to the 8th line. So there's a bunch of different ways you can get there. I would recommend, though, that if you're new to Madrid and you're just here for a few days or something and you're not really familiar with the area, do yourself a favor and just take that bus from Atocha Train Station, and you don't have to get on or off or change trains or anything like that. It's very simple, and I think that's the way to go. So after going up a few escalator ramps, you see we're at the back of Atocha, back at street level, and this is where the taxis and cars drop people off. And that round building right there, that round brick looking kind of building, is where the bus to the airport stops, among other buses as well. And the difference between the airport bus and the other ones is it's splashed all across the bus. It says airport across it. And so that bus you see right there is where the airport bus stops. So this is, again, this is street level, and you did not even have to come through Atocha station to get to this bus stop. You could have just went around the left side of the building and stayed on the street, and you would have gotten to the bus station as well. So this is what the area looks like around the bus station. You got this circular building. It's always good to get an idea of what the area looks like, so that when you're coming here or leaving from here, you don't start walking in the wrong direction, because Madrid is really big and you can walk a quarter mile, half a mile in the wrong direction before you realize you're not going where you need to go. And that could compound your problems if you're carrying heavy luggage or it's really hot, or both. So there is the express airport bus, and it's going to just go around this circular building and stop on the other side over there where people get off and get on. And again, like I said, it's €5, and they do take cash on the bus, and they also make change up to, I forget what it is, but probably up to like €20. I don't think they take 50s or 100s. So there is the bus pulling up, and if you you have there's a clock tower where it says salidas, where the taxis go in. There's a big clock tower sticking up, and so that's a good landmark if you're trying to figure out where the buses stop. It's directly across from that clock tower. So that's a look at the Madrid Puerta de Atocha train station and a little tour of the inside, as well as showing you where you can get the bus to the airport or where the bus drops you off from the airport. And like I said, in my opinion, it's the easiest, cheapest way to go between the airport and the city center of Madrid. So if you like that video, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you think this is also the cheapest, best way to go, or if you know another way that's better, leave it in the comments, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you for watching.